We're now going to work on the strgather function. This function is pretty much a concatenation function, okay, with a little added twist that it's going to allocate memory as well. A general note about all those functions that we are working on: all of our functions are actually allocating memory. When you clone, you allocate memory. When you gather two strings together, you allocate memory to make sure that you have enough room to make the copies. When you are going to use standard C library functions to manipulate strings, none of this will be done. Okay, the memory allocation is never handled by the string allocation functions. So let's move on. We're going to work on strgather. Takes two pointer on strings as parameter, returns a pointer on string, pointer on character. First step, we are going to measure S1 and S2 length, the two parameter, allocate enough memory for a string containing both of them. So we are going to have a little problem here with the \0. We don't want to allocate memory for an extra \0, so it's going to be the amount of memory allocated is going to be actually the size of S1 plus the size of S2 minus 1. Once we have this much memory, we copy S1 inside of our newly allocated memory. We copy S2 right after it, and we return the address of the newly allocated memory, newly allocated string. So let's see how we can implement that. Let me collapse once again what has been already implemented. Let's collapse as well the main for now, and let's take care of writing our function declaration. strgather, take two parameter S1 and S2, which are two strings. Definition. Little problem here with Playwright's way of handling things. strgather is here and it got mixed up with the next because the curly brace was open. Here we go, it's corrected. So I can close this once again. So there we go, strgather. Int size S1 equal str length S1. Let's start by getting the size of our two parameters into integer variables. Okay, we'll get this over with. So now we have the size of S1, we have the size of S2. We know how much memory we need to allocate. We're going to store that in a variable size. Size is equal to the size of S1 plus the size of S2 minus 1, because we don't want to take into account the two markers of end of string. So now we can proceed with allocating some dynamical memory. So we use a good old syntax here, size of char, you should be familiar with that by now, times size. Okay, we have our dynamical memory. Before we start copying things in that memory, it's a good idea to check that we've got actually some memory. So if not p, that means if p is false, which means if p is null or 0, then I'm going to return null. That's it. And this is a null from Java. The null from the C language is all uppercase. So this is it for my error handling. Now that I know that I have enough memory in P to store the two strings, I'm going to write some code to copy the content of S1 into P, and then copy the content of S2 right after it. So here's how I can write this. I'm going to start with star result, which I'm going to assign P2. This is just to save the value of P, because as you are going to see, I'm going to have maybe to increment progressively the pointer P and the pointer S1 and S2. So I want to make sure that I have the result ready to return, and I'm going to write my return statement already right there. So now what do I need to do? I need to do the copy by itself. So while star S1, as long as star S1 is pointing to a valid character, I'm going to do the following. While star S1, star P plus is equal star S1 plus, which means pretty much this is the body of my loop. Okay, I'm going to copy the character pointed by S1 into the character copied by P, and then I'm going to increment both pointers. As soon as S1 points to the \0, the end of string mark, I'm going to get out of this loop without incrementing. So following this, I will have another loop while S2 star p++, I resume where I was before to get out of the S1 loop, equals star S2 plus plus. This is the first draft, okay? So I have like two loops that are going to copy into P, and I keep incrementing P. The last thing that I need to do is to mark into P the fact that yes, we reach the end of the string, because we are not going to copy that character from S2 either. And we have a first version of this function. Let's try it out. Let's try to see if it compiles first. I go to the terminal, gcc main.c, compiles fine. Let's try to run it. No crash right now. Well, I didn't call this function, so that doesn't tell me much. So let's go back to the code and let's try to test this function. So I'm going to close the function code, open the main, and let's see what we can do. We can here we have been calling p to clone a string. It would be a good idea to deallocate the variable p. Okay, let's get rid of the memory we're not using anymore. And now let's try to concatenate strings together. For example, printf concatenating the string hi space with word results in. So you see that I'm neutralizing a lot of code just to make like pretty display and clear display. %f, I'm going to insert a string here, and then I go to the next line, and I'm done. Now the parameter I need for printf will be simply calling str gather. First string will be hi space, second string will be word, and that's it. If I do this, however, I'm losing the pointer to this newly allocated string. So I don't want to do that, because if I do that, I cannot deallocate it afterwards. So I'm going to store it temporarily inside the variable p. You know that in C language, assignment returns a value which is a value that has been assigned, so this is completely transparent. This will let printf access to this value. But once I'm done, I can deallocate this pointer once again. Saving, switching to the terminal window right here. Let's see if there is a syntax error. There is a syntax error, delocate. Yeah, this is not going to work really well. So you will notice that this time I didn't get really a compilation error. I got LD, return one exit status. The linker is not really happy, simply because the linker cannot find the code for that function. That's what's happening here. So deallocate, where did I use delocate? Here we go. So we can fix that easily. Deallocate, save the file. So it compiled okay, the linker had a problem. Now the linkage problem is solved. I can test it out. Concatenating hi with word results in hi word. Well, this looks pretty good. Okay, we are done with this function as well. So the next video will take care of the last function that we had to implement for this batch.